Mhm. Good morning, Brianna. How are you? Doing okay? I'm doing good. You know, just got new episode out today. So kind of working on it until the last moment, as usual. Good morning, Tabitha. How are you? Aw, thank you. That means a lot. How are you doing, Tabitha? How's your day going? Great. Headed to work. Boo. Boo work. But yay, money and being able to do things. Guys, make sure you tap that screen and hit that thumbs up. Those are the only ones that get access to health care other than emergency health care. Yes, it is true. Remind me when you're strumming the guitar on live. Was anything but affordable. That's a whole different problem. Getting rid of it is going to make healthcare even worse. No, that is not why the left won't sign. It is against federal law for any undocumented immigrants in this country to get access to healthcare other than emergency care. No, it absolutely isn't. Correct, they rarely show up in emergency rooms. No, not a Democrat shutdown. Disney vacation in 2 days. Heck yeah. Good morning, Dee Dee. I worked in healthcare. Oh, I see. Because you worked in healthcare, that means you know everything. I see. See how that works. You're leaving? Okay, bye. Thanks for letting me know. Thank you. I like it. It's a fun mug. No. Nope, not a Democrat shutdown. Bye. No, Democrats didn't shut it down. Democrats aren't in the majority. It's the requirement of the majority to do any negotiation if they want something passed. Typical conservative response. See, I can do it too. Oh, I got my facts straight. You just obviously don't understand how government works. That's how it works. When you need votes, you negotiate. When you're the majority and you need votes, you negotiate to get the votes. That's how it works. Oh no, I don't kick people for having a different opinion. I kick people. I mute people. People aren't allowed to be a part of the conversation if they say things that go against the rules of my live. We know most of the millions of them are Hispanic. Okay. Sure you do. Yes, all people. No, not Democrats, Republicans, for being unwilling to negotiate to get a bill passed. No, there's a lot of people that talk to me that aren't muted. But there are certain opinions that aren't allowed. You guys don't have freedom of speech in a private channel, in a private live. Freedom of speech has to do with the government. You don't get to say whatever you want here. You can say what you can talk about it wherever you want other places, but you can't say whatever you want here. We're not negotiating with folks that are, oh, see? Again, that's your fault then. Thanks for proving my point, that boy. Nobody cares about the shutdown. I'm sure the government officials that are on furlough and not getting paid care about the shutdown, pal. Typical Democrat freedom. Again, freedom of speech is not a guaranteed right other than from the government. Nope. Republicans won't negotiate to pass a bill. They had a whole year to pass a budget bill. Why did they need to wait until the last minute? Giving any... I didn't say free healthcare. Where did I say free healthcare, that boy? Where did I say free healthcare? Maybe you need to grow up. Good morning. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Nilota. How are you? It's not, there is no freedom here. This app gives me the right to make sure none of you can talk. I talk with people that agree with my fundamentals and want to have an actual conversation. How do you suppose those aren't U.S. citizens will pay for health care? You forgot to agree? Sounding like dictator. Yeah, I'm a dictator of my live. Yes, I am 100% a dictator of my live. Like, yes, I am a dictator of my live. I have total control over it. You don't like it? Go. Good morning, Alyssa. Go back to Cuba? Kathy, everyone would be paying for it. We'd just be paying for it with taxes, as opposed to paying for it, paying to an insurance company that's trying to make money. Why can't Dems coexist? What do you mean, why can't Dems coexist? I'm existing just fine. Good morning, Nessie. Why you rejecting your request? I don't bring up people I don't know. Never have, never will. Your premiums already help pay for non-US citizen healthcare. Way to not understand how our healthcare system works. Okay, the real Boro. No, it's not free. J-Man, grow up. Not even calling for free. Where did I say free? The way they've always paid for healthcare. Self-pay. Yep. Exactly, Michelle. No, not Democrat shutdown. Correct. It's not free in Canada either. They overturned that Crim Jim, I believe. No, it's not a Democrat shutdown. Republicans have the majority. Republicans' responsibility is to get things passed. They can't get things passed because they need minority support, then they have to negotiate. They didn't negotiate. They just said vote for it. That's not governing. That's being a whiny little baby. Shutting the government down isn't helping. Then why didn't they pass the budget over the last year that they had? They had a year to pass a budget. Why did they think they only were able to pass 3 of the 12 bills in the last 9 months? Why do they think 7 weeks will fix that? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing they voted for in March. Correct, Melissa, they are. Never thought it would get this far. It didn't surprise me, to be honest. Uh, the the current administration has made it their mantra to never take responsibility for any of the choices that they make that aren't good. And their supporters have taken that mantra on themselves. Are we in the brink? It's definitely it's definitely heading that way more than I would like to see. to be honest, I don't know how anyone can claim to be a Republican after everything that's been revealed. You literally voted for a guy who who's who's got 34 felonies to his name. Are you kidding me? Yeah, well. Well, Wizard, that won't happen until we vote people in office that are willing to make changes to our system, both federally and at the state level. Well, hundreds of thousands of people can't are feeling the pain crafted in alignment. So I don't know what to tell you. No, he's not my daddy. That's disgusting. Ugh. Hey, Jeremiah. No, the charges were not horse anything. It's called the law. Do you not care about the law? If you don't care about the law, then why are you even here? You're right. You're right, getting old. We should have had universal health care, single payer health care. It shouldn't have been the way it is. We shouldn't have insurance companies. We should have one insurance company that we all pay taxes into that gives us all health care. And ACA helped a lot of people. Who's going to pay for it? The American people with our taxes. You just won't be paying a premium instead. Do you understand how things work? Like, they don't run the health insurance. You think I trust companies whose goal is to make money? Should not be subsidized by taxes. Yes, it should. Not a Democrat shutdown. You've never been on TRICARE and it shows. Okay. Yes, it should. Because people's health is a right. Having access to healthcare is a right. Okay. Thanks for that. Got him. Got me. Okay, I'm here. Been on a while, but had to touch. No worries, Clara. I appreciate you. Hey, Siberia. United Healthcare. United Healthcare is about my health. Their website says so. There you go. Thank you, Wizard. Hey, Maritza. How are you? Has there been any movement? No. The Republicans are unwilling to talk. How can there be movement? The Republicans are saying sign it or else. How can there be any movement? IKEA. They don't get it for free. Who gets it for free? Who do you think gets it for free? Healthcare is subsidized by those who have to pay more. False. That is not how it works. The less money you make, the less, the worse healthcare plan you can afford. Again, I'm not sure what. No, they didn't democratically pass their bill because they need 60 votes to pass their bill. So they didn't democratically pass anything. That's an insurance problem, not an Obamacare problem, Lieutenant Dan. You're talking about the big, beautiful bill, okay? And technically, they passed it by a roundabout way. They didn't actually pass the bill, per se. No, Obamacare was not pushed through during a government shutdown. Dude, that literally shows you have no clue what you're talking about if you think that. Obamacare was signed in 2010. The shutdown was in 2013. No. This is how government works, dude. Democrats were the Democrats were democratically voted in to stand for their constituents. Welcome to government. I love how everyone thinks I'm just ignoring their comments when chances are they're not coming through. They will be out really soon. Uh-huh. How long do I think it will be? Far too long. Thank you, Bernice. I appreciate that. This is obviously the timeline where Forrest Gump didn't help poor Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Hey, Philip. All the party people over on the tube. By the way, everyone that's over here, just so you know, I go live here and on the tube at the same time. Over there, you don't have to worry about getting filtered. And there's a lot of cool people over there. And we're trying to grow over there and get the view hours up over there so I can actually start making funds that don't involve fear fully. So any help would be great. Also, just released a new episode today. Did you see the post where he's mad about the time? I didn't, but that's not surprising me. And they have more fun. Yeah, they're saying they have more fun over there. Hey, Laura. Hey, Lisa. Hey, good morning. Man, child mad about it. Yep, saw it, not surprised. No, not surprised he's mad about something. He's mad about everything. That man is mad. I don't know how he gets anything done. He is so upset all the time. You know? That man lives in upset. Being over here may stop you from saying. What are thoughts on the Portland ambulance / Frosty confrontation? I don't know that one specifically. Hey, Ava. Pledge federal agent at Portland. Oh, what do I think about it? Frightening. That's what I think about it. Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno in any way, shape, or form. You do understand, DDD, that if those subsidies go away, millions upon millions more Americans will not be able to afford it. What's the story? And basically, a Portland ambulance crew was trying to transport a patient, but were being blocked by the cubes and threatened to fire upon the driver. I'm not speaking any propaganda, Gally, whatever it is, Gaily. You'll never get term limits as long as the House only has to only gets 2 years between their terms. You'd have to change a lot. Correct, Ray. Yep. Is going to cost us all money in the long run. Correct. If the subsidies don't go, people will either start spending a lot more money, which means they'll just have less money, or a lot of people will go without health care, which means they'll spend a lot more time in emergency rooms when things happen, which means they might not. And every time they can't afford to pay emergency room costs, those get absorbed by the hospital, which then gets passed down to premium payers. It is true. That's literally how it works, JT. Abolish the IRS? Why would we do that? We need taxes to run a government. Vote out the incumbent. Correct. You've got primaries. You can vote them out. Those are term limits. Oh, no. You're good, Adrian. You're good. I appreciate you letting me know. I didn't know about that. No, it's true on the GOP shutdown. They're in the majority. It's their job to negotiate if they can't get a bill passed, and they need uh, they need people from the minority to vote for it. No, it is true, but thanks for playing. What would happen if there was universal health care? Instead of paying premiums, we would all pay a tax that would go to a single payer healthcare system, which means everyone would get access. What would be the not good? For elective things or non-life threatening things, there may be some more delay, but some of that depends on a lot of things. I don't believe anything anybody says straight up. I do my research, user, blah, 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 blah. Because I can see with my own eyes. No, that's not how universal works. There's no delay. Of course there is. If there is a lack of doctors and other things, of course there will be a delay. Like, there's still limited numbers of, like, if the schedule is full, you can't get health care. You lose your freedom of choice in important medical decisions. No, you don't. An ambulance was trying to bring a patient to the hospital, and the Frosties wouldn't let them and threatened to fire upon the ambulance driver and stuff. Sure, the number of doctors will go up, but that doesn't mean that there won't ever be a backup. I'm talking from the experience that I've been told from people who have in countries that have universal health care. Sometimes there are delays. If it's elective or if it's non-emergency, it can get delayed a little bit, but not if it's emergency. I'm not saying there will be tons of delays. There won't. I'm just saying that's how it kind of works. Someone who lives in Canada where they have universal health care, they've come on here and talked about what it's like living under universal health care. Steve, that's how it works. You talk to people who have experience in the things that you're talking about. Try a couple years. No. No, they're in here and they've come up and they've talked. It's not a trust me, bro. It's literally people that live there. Do people really not? No, Penelope, they don't. And yeah, people can still pay for like extra health care. But hey, Courtney. Oh, yeah, I know quite a few people that live in Canada that love their health care that moved from here. Okay. Well, I can show you a lot of people that can tell you firsthand that it is what it's like. So, what's your point? Is it perfect? No. No healthcare system, no system is perfect. Okay. It's not a comment. It's them. Like I said, they've been on here. They've talked. They are Canadian, and they have talked. People that I trust more than a random person coming into my chat. What's up, Jose? How are you doing? Nope, Kenny. It's not a failed experiment. Obamacare has allowed tens of millions of people that would not have health care to have it. We pay for health care anyways. Why not make it universal? Truth. You studied this 30 years ago and there's not that much of a difference. No, there's not really. Yeah. Subsidies to make it affordable for people that can't afford it. It's the whole point, is to make things affordable for people that can't afford it, Kenny. It is funny to me seeing people defending private health care. They did not vote to close it. The Democrats did not get negotiated with at all, because the way a government works is if you need the minority's votes to pass something, then you need to negotiate with the minority. They didn't. Undocumented people do not have access to the Affordable Care Act, to Medicare or Medicaid. It is more affordable. Yeah, it's affordable with the subsidies. It's impossible without them. Yep. And again, you have zero clue. No, you've got zero clue. Who pays for the subsidies? All Americans, even themselves. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because all people deserve affordable health care. It's called get a job and pay for it. Hey, Aaron, that shows you have no idea what you're talking about. You can't force a company to give you enough hours to give you health care. Correct, Tyler. Farmers and ranchers have jobs. Yeah. People that go work at some of these big companies like Walmart don't get given enough hours to make healthcare available to them. Again, do I think that the healthcare system is perfect? No. I think changes should be made that make it more affordable for all people. I don't think we should be using a private healthcare system whose job it is to make money. But taking away tens of millions of people's ability to afford health insurance just because you don't want to pay some taxes is not how you fix it. Nope, not a Democrat shutdown. It's a GOP. Hey, Bree. How are you? Long time no see. By the way, everyone that's over here, just so you know, I'm live on TikTok and over on the Tube. if you want to hang out over there, it's a much cooler place to be, and I'm trying to grow over there. So there's people over there talking. You don't have to worry about getting filtered. No one cares. Okay, bye, Thunder. Hey, Maureen. People are selfish and greedy. Yep. Isn't this going to make healthcare more expensive if the ACA subsidies don't get passed? Yes. Yes, YOLO season, it is. It wasn't a disaster. Tens of millions of people have access to healthcare that wouldn't have if it wasn't for Obamacare. Not a disaster. Maybe you should grow up. What's up, KJ? How are you doing? Bless your heart. Same, Brie. Yours is going up $417. That's crazy. Obamacare was not a joke. Obamacare made it possible for tens of millions of people to have health care that wouldn't have it probably right now. What do you think? What are your thoughts on MTG agreeing with the Dems? She's got an election coming up. That's my thoughts. No one cares about politics? I do. You used it, it paid for nothing. Okay. Well, the tens of other millions of people that use it would disagree with you. No, all people should have access to affordable health care. Human health is a right. Oh, Obama tried to do a lot more. He had to negotiate to get Obamacare passed. I think all people in this world should have the right to health care. I think that is a world thing, if you're asking. That's fair, Maureen. Correct. It took 60 Dem senators and the Dem House to pass Obamacare. Healthcare being for profit is definitely making this worse. That is not true. One side has been trying to do things like universal healthcare, making it a right a lot. So that's not true. Heck, before Obamacare, you used to be able to be denied healthcare for pre-existing conditions. Okay, Kevin. You say so. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. All people in this world should have access to healthcare. Healthcare should be a universal right for humanity. Okay, Kevin. I'm sorry, Courtney. I missed what you pinned. I mean, I personally think that all of them that healthcare should be universal worldwide. I think the entire world. You had pinned something. Okay. Everyone pays for it, just like we pay for it now. Do you guys understand how the world works? Why didn't they make the subsidies permanent? Well, because in order to make things permanent, you need 60 people to vote in. And we haven't had a filibuster proof majority since Obamacare. And the subsidies only came in 2020. Okay, Tom. Something tells me that you don't know what you're talking about. I hope nothing ever happens to you that requires you to get help from somebody or something. It would have to be a constitutional right in order to be to not have the ability of overturning it, but it can be a right that is given via law without the Constitution. Decent coverage, but the amount my sister and I had to consider regarding healthcare costs and regulations for her was overwhelming. Seriously, Maureen. No, KJ, they don't understand. Taking everyone's money to pay for something that we all need and use. Yep. How do you fix that? Universal health care that doesn't go through an insurance company. The reason Obamacare is the way it is it still technically goes through an insurance company. The only people that get access to the Affordable Care Act or Medicare or Medicaid are legal citizens or legal residents. I disagree that it's how it should be. I think health is a right for all people, just like due process should be a right for all people, or is a right for all people. We've talked to people that have universal health care and they love it. Lady in red. We've had people literally in this box talking about it. Is it perfect? No, but they like it. No. No, you don't. I mean, you wait a year for your primary sometimes here. but no, that's no. Sure, you can go somewhere and get special extra treatment. Get a clue. Nuh-uh. Not at your expense. Tough. Welcome to living in a society, Ronald. I grew up near Boston, where they have a healthcare system that Obamacare was based off of. I had no issue with it. They think that we are paying for a lot of people that aren't American. Sure, I don't think we should have insurance companies. That's why I think we should have universal health care. You got to have something before you can get rid of something. We aren't giving money away to non-Americans. And why? Well, because we've got people who have, in my opinion, incorrect priorities. I'd be totally happy with stopping all funding over to that country in the Middle East. No, no, we aren't, Marty. Google. You understand that Google by its very self is not. It's not that's not how Google is not a. People are unhappy that they got muted. And now they're getting blocked. I hope they enjoyed the train ride. Well, maybe they feel better about being able to complain. Sure, people get muted all over the place. It's their lives, dude. It's their lives. If you go on someone else's live, they have the right to not want you there. All they want. All they want. We have rules here. You don't follow the rules. You don't believe in our fundamentals. We're not going to have a conversation. This place is not for that. This place is for conversations about how we move forward as a coalition of people that agree on fundamentals. If you want to come in and start talking, that's fine. But you don't have freedom of speech in someone's personal live. That's why I have the ability to make sure no one talks. I would never do that except to prove a point. But that's why it exists. No, Samantha, it's not. Freedom of speech only protects against government, not me. I'm not the government. If I was a government official doing a live, it would actually be illegal and unconstitutional to do it. Just so you know, if you ever go onto if a politician does a live, they actually cannot stop your comments. But I'm not one of them. The government isn't paying for it. The people are paying for it. It has already been 2 weeks. Coffee is absolutely necessary, Maureen. In every way. Hey, Granny. We're surviving? Yes, we're surviving. Don't mess with my caffeine. Right. Don't mess with my caffeine. You hear about the Creed video game that is no longer coming out due to... No. I did not hear about the Creed game not coming out. Where is it supposed to take place? Coffee is your medicine? Facts. You're a no caffeine person, and that's fine. I can respect that. See, Kia, that's another one of those we can agree to disagree things. You've never been able to acquire a taste for toffee. I didn't. Oh no, I hear you, Bree. Once I figured out what you were talking about, I understood. What's up, Ghost? Thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate you. Um, the tariffs on lumber and furniture have been put in place. So, new house prices are going to go up even more, and imported furniture is going to go up more. So, hope none of you need to replace furniture or buy wood. Vance doesn't get his new couch. You're doing a DIY flood recovery at your house? Oh. Having to look for a cabinet maker. Plywood, everything's expensive. You're gonna get a new couch around Christmas? I mean, some places will still have them locally, so you might be able to get past it, but I think you're gonna see prices go up fast. Hopefully, US stops consuming products at. You think most people are buying furniture at crazy capitalistic levels? The people that are buying tons and tons of furniture at crazy levels are people with money that aren't going to be affected as much by these tariffs. The people that are going to be affected the most are the ones that already can barely afford furniture. Those people don't buy just for the heck of it. They buy when they absolutely need it. I think there's this misconception that the entire country just buys expensive things like furniture. Like, furniture is too expensive to just buy unless you've got extra money. It already was too expensive, and now it's just going to be more expensive. Hubby and I are rare curb pickers. There's a lot. Build your own furniture. Well, except for the lumber is also getting tariffed. So unless you've got the ability to cut a tree down and make lumber out of it. Bought too much avocado toast, Simon. At least you've accepted that. The US buys a ton of products that they can afford, Buffalo Blue. They wouldn't be able to afford it if it was made in the US. You seem to think that people have more money than they have. Now, you may see people starting to go, like, you may see what's the word? People getting used furniture more often. That might become a bigger thing, who knows? But Steve complained as a comment on one of my videos. That was funny. Hello.
What did you say?
Y'all are against free speech. The usual. The usual
It's
stuff.
what's her name? Samantha. She's probably gonna complain. I almost blocked her, but I wanted to just mute her because I wanted to see if she would complain. I don't think they realize mute means they can try again tomorrow. I think we should start telling them sorry. The complaint department is closed.
Hmm.
Yeah, Michelle, I put that in the chat over here. When y'all need some stuff, please don't ever. I know we don't like Meta, and a lot of us are not liking Meta, but the marketplace on the Book of Face can get you so many things at so much better prices.
Yes,
Check those things out for sure.
correct, Scrufflord. The fact that they can comment on a video or message me means they did not get silenced. They just don't get to interact. They can still talk. Even if I block them, it's not like they can't go somewhere else and talk. I'm not the government. Yeah, Blippity. By the way, I love that name. Because when I have to say it, it's fun. The fact is the point of this live is to have conversations. And in order to have a conversation, there are fundamentals. There is a non-negotiable fundamental that we must be agreed upon before we can talk about it. We have people that consider themselves pretty conservative that disagree with us all the time, but they have shown that we can at least agree on the fundamentals. At least enough that they aren't getting muted or blocked. They are here. They are talking. Happens all the time. Yep. You'll see a lot of clothing. You'll see a lot of people going to consignment and all of the places where that people donate clothes. You'll see a lot more people going there for stuff, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
They do in Raleigh at the fairgrounds. Speaking of consignment, they do. I think it's once a year, but they do like this consignment shop. Have you ever been to the fairgrounds in Raleigh?
No, I've
No.
never been to
Okay.
Raleigh.
Okay. I didn't know if you've ever came up for like the fair or anything, but the big building, shit, I cannot remember the name of it, but there's like a big ass building. It's like an arena inside where they set up a lot of different, all throughout the year they have events there, but in the fair they set up stuff. But they do a consignment shop and it's like a weekend thing and it's like 70,000 square feet, 100,000 square feet or something like that. And it's nothing but like kids' clothes, toys, books,
Wow.
shoes. And I mean, and it's so organized. You would think when they show the commercials, it's so organized and like each day, like the prices change and go down. And you see so many families go. That's definitely, I bought so much stuff for my boys when they were babies at a consignment shop. I was getting onesies for like $1.
I totally agree, Steffi. By the way, everyone that's over here, I said it before, I go live here and on the tube at the same time. I find the tube to be better. Your comments don't get filtered. We had Scott, if you know him, he went onto it and said, the picture just looks better. Now, I can't guarantee that one, but he seemed to think it did. So you should hang out over there because more hours means my ability to continue doing this. Congress needs to see that they're supposed to represent the people, not the president. That's true, Steffi.
I just want to piggyback on you real quick. And for those of you guys that have more than one device, you could do like I'm doing, and I know several others of us are as well. You could stream in both places at the same time and just turn it down on the other place. He that still counts for views for him. So just to kind of while we're doing that before we get too much further, you still got like an hour and some change that you can give them a viewing time if you have the option.
And when our neighborhood does like yard sales, we we just put everything out. Like we don't sell it. We just put things out and be like, free, come take, depending on what it is.
Like here, so there's either I think it's 4 or 5 counties. They do it's called the 301 yard sale, and it's like the second or third weekend in June. So it's all up and down Highway 301 that runs parallel to 95, and all these communities that whole weekend. Those two, it's usually like Friday and Saturday. Sometimes they do Sundays. The school, they like rent out like spaces, and there's so many people and there's so much stuff and furniture. Don't ever let your pride get in the way of saving you some money. There is nothing that says that's part of the reason why the landfills and the oceans are filled with so much shit, because we always feel we have to constantly buy new. No, no, no. Go thrift some stuff. Like I'll switch out stuff. Like if I'm at my sister's house, I'll dig in her closet or she could dig in mine. My kids wore hand-me-downs. We don't always have to have new, and we don't always have to have so much shit.
Food banks are getting low on stock. That's also true. You made a post about the No Kings on another app. Started a ruckus. It's easy to start a ruckus these days. I've made the amount of times I've put a thing above me that seems like the most unassuming comment humanly possible that has caused a mass amount of ruckus is just mind boggling. It's just mind boggling.
Oh, that's cool, Susan. That's the other thing. If you do have to buy something in a store, like my washing machine, it was a floor sample that got a dent on the side. I got like $150 off of it just because of that.
Sorry, Ron Dia. It's not. It's a GOP shutdown. GOP have the majority. If the GOP know they need 60 votes to pass anything, then it's their responsibility to negotiate with the minority party to get their votes. Why would why why would the Democrats just be like, yeah, we'll vote, even though you didn't talk to us, even though it's your responsibility as the majority to negotiate with us? We'll just go along with it for no other reason. They had 9 months to pass a budget, and all they could pass was 3 of the 12 budget bills. And they decided to bring this continuing resolution at the last moment to try and force them. The House pushed it through because they have the majority in the House and they only need a simple majority to pass it. And then they shut the thing down because they wanted to try and force a vote as opposed to doing their job. So don't sit here and pretend that it's the Dems' fault. It's not. I'm more than willing to blame the Dems when it's their fault. I did. I blamed the Dems this year many times. This is not one of them. It's not one of them. Find good furniture at the end of college semesters. Yeah.
Yeah, that. And then if you live in, I didn't even know something. I didn't, I guess maybe because I've never actually like lived in a quote unquote neighborhood before ever in my life, really, except for the year and a half I lived at my dad's. But like when they do the neighborhood, the neighborhood like pickup days, and people will put stuff outside, and I saw this young lady, she goes around with a truck with a little trailer, and she picks up people's stuff that they put out because they get new, but there might not be nothing wrong with it, or
Mm-hmm.
it might need to be sanded, and she goes out, she takes it home, she sands it or repaints it or repurposes it or whatever, and then she sells it and makes money, or she puts things in her home. I think that's amazing.
For morning, the CR also gives more power to the executive branch in verbiage. So again, a continuing resolution means that by its very nature, if it's a continuing resolution, it's supposed to keep funding at its current state. The reason that they can't call it a clean CR, which is what they want to keep calling it, is because they're trying to say it's exactly the same as it was as the one in March. But it's not. Things have changed since March. The big beautiful bill passed. They've defunded a lot of things. PBS is no longer funded. If PBS is no longer funded, then it's not a clean CR. So, does it give them more power? I don't think so, but I haven't heard that. How's it going back there? Oh, Steve, another day in paradise.
I would say it Congress has been doing that on their own. Like it seems like they have just been relinquishing so much. Like, do people not understand like the tariff power is not the president's? It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be Congress's. And it's like I don't think people are realizing like how much Congress, this feckless Congress, has abdicated their powers to the president. There's a reason why so much it seems like it's only the courts are fighting, which there's over 400 court cases, by the way. But they've literally just abdicated their duties and they're just not doing their jobs.
True. It is not a clean CR. It is not the same as it was in March. Things are not funded in the same way that they were in March. It's not a clean CR. They can say it all they want. It's not a clean CR. Oh, they are talking about March. They have said, the Republicans have said, it's a clean CR. It's exactly the same as what they voted for in March. Mike Johnson and Thune have both used that talking point. So don't say we're not talking about it because the people in charge are talking about it.
Mm.
They said they voted for it in March. Why wouldn't they vote for it now? It's the same bill. It's the same CR. They said it many, many times.
It's just crazy how easily it's like the damn dogs that like to chase, like the dog and the it's squirrel talking about squirrel. You just throw a talking point somewhere and they just all chase on it and they don't do any research and then they're just so confidently wrong.
And in March, it wasn't clean. Prove it. Prove it, Crazy Dimes. When was the CR before that? Where's the comparison of the two? And who said that it was a clean CR? Who said that it was a clean CR, the one they were voting on in March? I don't remember that argument. It was just a CR in March. No one, to my recollection, said that it was a clean CR. But they are making that argument this time. Again, you can be okay with it. I don't care. But don't sit here and defend them when they're flat out lying to get you to support them. Do you not get bored of the same every day? The same what? Same arguments? The same people? Sometimes, sure.
I said the craziness in chat, absolutely. It's so tiring.
But this is part of the job.
Steve, I don't think both parties, oh, I'm sorry. I don't think both parties should be fined. I think it should be the leadership party, honestly, because you're literally by not calling them back to even be willing to talk about what's going on, what the people need, what the people want, and actually argue this in front on the cameras in front of people or whatever in C-SPAN or whatever. When the party that's in charge is actively not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they should be the ones that are being fined.
I don't mind them getting paid. I think what should happen is no other business should be allowed to be done. So you can't go on recess. they're required to be in DC, and the only thing they're allowed to do is work on the budget. If there is no budget bill passed, that is literally all they are allowed to do. I don't mind them getting paid, but if they're not allowed to do anything else, I think we'd like, the problem right now is that they're allowed to do all these other ridiculous, stupid talking points that have nothing to do with passing anything. You can't talk to the press. You can't talk to the media. You can't do anything but go to bed and come back and work on the budget until it's passed. That is all that is allowed if they do not pass it. I think that's how it should be. Because I think I think these friggin' all these talking points that they're doing, both sides to an extent, uh, just because, only because I'm just tired of hearing everybody complaining at this point. Even if the Democrats obviously are not in the wrong in this case, I'm just tired of hearing it. I think if a budget bill is not passed, no one should be allowed to go and talk to anybody. They should be in the House, in the Senate, working on the budget bills, getting it done. And that's all they are allowed to do. That's it.
I think, like for me, if I didn't see the Democrats complaining, I would be upset. So we need to see them complaining. If that's what's happening, they because what they need to do is they need to keep putting the narrative out there. What often happens is it seems like the Dems try to go with the rules of 80 years ago or whatever, and it's like, no, that's not how it needs to be. I think I think the Democrats should keep being out there. There should be more of them. It shouldn't just be the same ones.
I'm
If they're not going to be able to be in DC, then they should be in their states with their constituents out there talking about this bill, talking about it. That's if they're not going to be in DC, they should have to be working with those people they're supposed to be representing. They also should have to go ahead and swear in that lady from Arizona. Stop bullshitting with that.
I my statement had completely to do with the fact that has nothing to do with what needs to be done under the current reality. I'm talking about if we changed the reality of how all of this works. Because there is no law that says that they have to stay and do nothing other than get a budget bill passed. So yes, in the current situation, yes, they need to be talking. They need to be out there. I'm just saying in the future, what I would want to see happen is us making it where if a budget bill is not passed by October 1st, then they get their pay cut in half or something like that, and they aren't allowed to talk to the press or the media. They aren't allowed to do anything, but they aren't allowed to have any meetings, uh any committee meetings that have anything that do anything other than, they're not the only ones getting paid. But yes.
And I think too we have to see, this is where I struggle. This is where I struggle a bit because like when people say they shouldn't get paid, and it's like you're punishing the people that want to do it, but they're not able to. If you don't have the power to go in there and open up a session on the floor, why should you stop getting paid, and why should you lose your health care? Again, I think with those, I think it needs to be the people who are actually stopping it from happening, the people who are in charge, whenever that party, even in the future. If you stop it and you're actively, like they actively just said, F you to the Dems, we're not going to put anything you want in this bill, but we're still going to make you pass it anyway. And then if you don't, we're going to sit here and say, you guys are the ones that cause all the problems. And the Dems like literally kind of cave to that. I'm glad that they're finally speaking out. I think we're seeing it's like kind of like hindsight's being 2020 every damn day. It seems like we can add something to our list of shit that needs to be fixed if we ever come to a point in time where we can actually get laws and actual policies done and
Mhm.
made to fix a lot of this stuff that's happening.
Yep. But like I said, so here's the thing about, like, again, everything we're saying is a future that is, things have, like, if things changed, ultimately it would be like this. The reason that I'm not okay with only the majority getting not paid is, what if the minority wanted to just not negotiate? Like, you needed the votes from the minority, but the minority is like, nope, we're not giving it to you. They could force they could force a shutdown. They could force a shutdown by, the minority could force a shutdown by being unwilling to talk to the majority too. That's the issue, is arguably these things can happen. That's not happening in this case, but those things can happen, which is why, again, you need to make it.
And I think that's why my statement was about what's actively happening right
I know.
now and then making changes for the future. So mine was kind of both of those things.
I know.
Just think, because I'm also commenting on what's being said in YouTube. Oh, tube on the tube. So I'm inclusive of those comments as well. And I think that's my only issue. So maybe I should clarify that I'm also replying to comments over there.
Is there any way to override? No, there's not a way to override the vacation, unfortunately.
If Mr. Johnson don't bring it back, we mm. I just don't understand. Honestly, this is where my brain struggles to figure it out. Like, how do people see what's going on? Not even if they're just listening to talking heads, but like, how are they just so unaware and just so, that's like really scary to me. Like, maybe scary is not the right adjective, but the fact that there's so many people that believe the bullshit so deeply and so fiercely, it's just wild. Oh
Mhm.
my God, that's wild.
It it shows how your worldview can be controlled. I mean, again, it's literally decades of work by the church, by the conservative party on American exceptionalism, a lot of stuff like that. It's this is the culmination of all of that together. We're talking about the shutdown, Tiffany. Everyone needs to sit back and drink a cold German beer. Oh, that's me. Lucky. Right now, we were kind of, a lot of us were talking about how we would like things to be in the future to try and prevent a shutdown in the way that they have become a regular thing. Oh, Ash, there are literally hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people that didn't vote for this, that work for our government, that are suffering. So, I, you know, I don't.
Wait, I think maybe just pulling up and looking at your.
I agree. It should be a fundamental human right. You have a whole plan for that?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was misunderstood.
No, I understand what they're saying. There are people that voted for it, and they're getting what they voted for. That, I understand exactly what they're saying. I just don't agree with that perspective, because there are plenty of people in the government that didn't vote for this that are suffering now because of it. Yeah, but there are people in the government that didn't, and I feel for them. And that is who I and honestly, I'm not okay with anyone suffering. But that's me. I know that I'm not everybody else. So,
And Stephanie, I agree. They believe with what I tell you, not what you see. It's almost like that parenting, how when parents say, because I said so.
well,
And it's like when you think about it, when you get older and you think about all the things, and you're like, whoa, the indoctrination came in so many different forms, not just the church, not just the politicians, but, well, maybe those, well, I know it wasn't the politicians or the church, but how many times I was told, because I said so. You like almost like you shut down critical thinking and questioning
oh,
when,
sure.
when people are tiny humans.
100%. And I would like to get rid of political parties in the way that they are. You'll never get rid of political parties. The fact is political parties are a way that you get people that all believe supposedly in the same thing to run together, to run on a platform. I have no issue with that. What it's become, how it works currently, I have a major issue. Why do you always blame? I don't always blame the GOP. Blame the GOP in this case. I blame the GOP when they are in the wrong. Why? Because the GOP are the majority. And the GOP knew that in order to pass something like a CR, they would need the minority's support. And in order to get that support, you need to talk to them and negotiate with them. And if you can't get their support, like if you are, and if in this case you are unwilling to negotiate with the minority party to get their votes, that's your fault. Because that's how things get passed. If you need 60 votes, you don't have 60 votes. You need to negotiate to get those votes. If you don't negotiate, it's not like the GOP negotiated and the DNC was like, nope, not touching it. We're not voting for it unless you give us literally everything that we want. The DNC didn't say that. The GOP didn't ask. The GOP said, we are not going to negotiate with you at all. Just vote this and we will deal with it over the next 7 weeks. Problem is, we vote for people that are supposed to work for us, but no one does. No, the problem, Tiffany, is that we don't hold our politicians accountable in the primaries. That's why. That is why we are where we're at. Because our politicians do not worry about people paying attention. Nope. It's the GOP shutdown. But thanks for playing. Who's to say that in 7 weeks they won't do the same thing, Cortez? Why would you believe that 7 weeks is enough time to change things? Who's to say that the like again, they own all three of no. I don't debate here. This is not a debate channel. Go find a debate channel if you want to debate. This is not up for debate.
That made me laugh.
Hey Starfire. Hey Charles. Can't compromise when one side doesn't hold up their end of the bargain. I mean, It's hard to compromise when one side has shown that they don't care about the rules or the rule of law. So thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Guys, anyone that's on here, also know that I do have a podcast that's over on the tube. I also go live here and on the tube at the same time. It's way better over there. They did not close the government to pass Obamacare. Obamacare passed in 2010. The shutdown was in 2013. And in 2013, it was a divided government.
They just can't keep Obama's name out of their mouth. It must just taste delicious. Obama. Ooh, say it again. Obama, Obama, Obama.
Yeah, they don't even, too many don't even know that the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing.
Have you ever seen when they do like when they have somebody with a mic go out and like walk through the crowd and they were asking questions and they did it purposefully? Some people, they were saying at first they started with either Obamacare or the ACA, and then when they found out it was the same thing, like because some of the responses I was like, do you not I was like, do you not realize it's the same thing? And by the second and third person I was like, they have no idea it's the same thing.
Cortez, no. The subsidies that were given, that were added to the Affordable Care Act in 2020 are what's at the heart of this debate. The Affordable Care Act as a whole is not at the heart of this debate. The only thing that's at the heart of this debate really is the subsidies that were added in 2020.
And why are people so pissed off about trying to make it more affordable for people to have and maintain health care?
Because they don't think they deserve it, and
They
they
keep
don't want
coming
their
and talking
money
about
going for it.
free. I'm like, I've read that statement above your head so many times. I was like, I don't see the word free in there anywhere. No one, where is anybody screaming everybody should have free healthcare? And yes, it's got to be paid for in some way, but there's no fucking reason why we have somebody worth $500 billion in this country, but everybody can't have healthcare, everybody can't have fucking food, and everybody can't have houses to live in. That's just ridiculous. Whether or not it's single wide trailers just to get people off the streets or tiny homes or something. There's no reason.
I agree.
Exactly, Michelle. They've made the immigrants the group, and it's
They've tried to tie it to it, except it's not. So that's the
I know,
crazy
but
part.
you know what the problem is though, Mike, when you only watch something like Fox Entertainment Television or OAN or whatever, and that's the only place you get your news, they are
Oh, I
actively
understand.
tying it. And and that's the problem. That's why I was, hey, 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 that's too rough. Um, and that's the problem because they're buying it. Look how many times people were coming in here talking about immigrants shouldn't get it. It's the fact that you don't think that all people should have access to health care. How we pay for it, we can discuss on that, but the bare minimum is that every human being deserves access to health care.
Because I mean, again, we've already had this discussion. In the end, there's a difference of humanity, of empathy, of fundamentals. There to a lot of these people, there there are people that quote unquote deserve and others that don't. And that is the ultimate problem.
Yes, and Ghost, you're right. That is like a marketing technique. You say something over and over again. That's why, like in those short little commercials, you'll hear that same phone number, multiple times, because the more times you hear it, the more likely it is to penetrate and stay in that brain. And you're exactly right. And you're right too, brother. Like I just
I mean, again, that's why I don't talk to those people about it. I mean, I may say a statement here and there, but they don't stick around very long. It's not that I don't want to talk to them. It's not that I don't want to talk to them about the problems with our healthcare system. Jared, because in real life, in the real world, if you can't get 60 votes and you're the majority, your job is to negotiate with the minority to get the votes you need. That's how the real world works. You don't just say vote for us or else. That's a child thing to do. The idea of saying we need 60 to reopen, I don't care that the Republicans didn't talk to the Democrats at all. They just said vote for it or else. That's a childish way to look at things. That's not reality. Reality is the Democrats also work for the people, and the people that they work for don't want to lose the ACA subsidies, want them to fight for things like this. So, in order to get them to vote for this CR, they would need to negotiate, and they chose not to. So, that's how it's a GOP shutdown. Because the GOP are the majority, they are in leadership. They are the ones that are responsible for passing budgets. And if you know you need 60 people, then it's your job to get the votes. And saying, just vote for it, give us 7 weeks, when they couldn't even pass the 12, they only were able to pass 3 of the 12 budget bills that were needed in the 12 months between the last budget bill or the last budget year and now. Because all they're doing is doing CRs all the time. They're in the majority. They should be passing these bills. Now deductible is $1,500. Yeah, that's because things are getting more expensive. Pre-Obama, everything, Obamacare didn't make your deductible go up. Our messed up healthcare system made your deductible go up. Jeez. The fact that everything costs more is what made your deductible go up.
like why aren't you like that's the thing about it though. Like instead of being upset about people that don't have a lot of money or people you don't believe getting health care, like be upset that the insurance companies are making multiple billions of dollars
Uh,
to sit there and tell you you can't get the health care you pay
Lil
for.
Joe, they aren't trying to pass a bill, because when you're trying to pass a bill and you need the minority's votes to get it, you have to talk to them. And they aren't. The only thing they're saying to them is, it's a clean CR. We don't need to do anything. Just sign it and we'll get it done in 7 weeks. No, they won't. They can't even pass a budget in a year. Think they could get it done in 7 weeks? No. If they need them, then they need to work with them. And they did no negotiation, no talking. No.
There's a whole bunch of nuh-uhs happening and that's all
Nuh-uh.
they're doing. Nuh-uh, nuh-uh.
I mean, that's fine. You are happy with the way the budget is. You're allowed to be. But don't sit here and pretend that it's one person's fault when that's just not how government works. Because again, reality, desire and reality don't always mix. No, Lil Joe, it's not. Because again, reality does not agree with whatever this world that you see is. No, it's not. I just talked about why it's not. You just going nuh-uh is not going to change anything.
Nuh-uh.
Oh yeah, Charles. 100%. 100%.
And that's the thing, Charles, that's so dangerous. When you have the Speaker of the House, like on all these channels everywhere, sitting there saying the Dems are lying, the Dems are lying, they want the immigrant. When he's out there, he's actively putting out so much misinformation and disinformation. That's the other thing. It's hard when it's not just a news source, but when it's the person who's in charge of all of that that's literally just like blatantly telling lies every which way. It's wild.
And no, we don't deserve free healthcare. There's no such thing as free healthcare. We deserve affordable healthcare, accessible and affordable healthcare. That's what we want. It wouldn't be a major tax hike, Steve. That's what we're saying. If everybody took what they are paying for premiums now and put it towards a tax that covered single payer health insurance, it would in most cases be a tax reduction for a lot of people. It wasn't a clean CR, punk. You will explain the German insurance. You don't need to explain the German insurance. We're not looking for German insurance. I mean, that's fine. You're welcome to, but not everyone's insurance is exactly the same. No one's saying German insurance is perfect. Running amok again? Is everyone running amok over in the tube?
No, my kittens are. That
Oh.
comment that you see, like,
Oh, is that what that was?
so I use a Bluetooth. I have like this little, I have this little Bluetooth keyboard, right? It's really skinny, it's thin, lightweight, and that's what I use
Yeah.
when I'm on the tube. And the kittens have all woken up from their pre like breakfast nap and they're all running now and they're like running up over my bed and they're running across my keyboard.
40% of their wages go only to health insurance in college, no other government anything.
Yeah, Carla, I'm actively doing that right now.
Um, According to this, I mean, according to this uh, multiple websites I'm looking at now that deal with the German tax system, that is not how it works. But I do not think 40% is around what they get taken out when they are in when you make 66,000 pounds or more. But again, I don't know. And that's not counting Social Security, solidarity surcharge, church tax. I don't know what church tax is, but
I also see though that it's split, that it's like total approximately about 22% for employees and 20% for employers.
yeah, I saw that Johnson said that. I think if he really, if it ends up being longer than the 35 days, that is going to be really bad for the Republicans, because they are still in power. Because the fact is the ones that are coming in here and specifically just straight up blaming the DNC for this shutdown are the ones that wouldn't be voting for Democrats ever. Like the people that are coming in and are saying those things, they would never consider voting for a Democrat ever. Those aren't the people that are getting turned by this whole reality. Yeah, yeah, Upland. We control them all. We control all 3 beaches. No, no, no. I like beaches better.
Me too.
Let them control the branches. We'll control the beaches.
Speaking of, oh, have you seen what the GOP here in our lovely state is trying to do? They're trying to gerrymander another Republican district.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I saw that.
Oh, and the other thing though is on our beaches, y'all, right now, I don't know if you guys have seen it on any of the national news, but the Outer Banks and the houses there, in 1 week, they lost 9 houses, went into the ocean, and there's more that are actively getting ready to fall.
Lily, the Republicans need to do their job and negotiate in order to get the bill passed. If they need 8 Democrats to vote for a bill, then it is their job to negotiate. That's how it works. I think in the end, we're going to see some major changes in this country after this whole debacle gets so bad that people wake up. I think there's going to be some massive changes going on. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of things that have been quote unquote left to the authority of Congress or the Senate or the president or even state legislatures are no longer left to that authority because they've shown that they can't be trusted to care about all people. This weekend should be interesting. Yes, it should. Yes, it should.
Make sure for everybody participating in the festival this weekend, please, please, please be safe. Do all the things. Make sure you carry water with you. Make sure you have snacks. Make sure you have weather protection, whether it's an umbrella, hat, sunscreen, all the things. Please make sure you have information written in places. Make sure people know where you are.
You think you'll go drink wine in California? Okay. Go for it.
Yes, and have milk for spicy air. A recording device, record. Please record. Yes, Grizzly Bear. People not speaking up take their rights for granted.
Uh,
Lisa, what happened in Alaska? I think maybe yes, but I'm not sure. Replying on the tube.
uh, Did you see what happened in Alaska? Which what? What happened? Or just give me a general gist and I can tell you.
I saw something about Alaska, but now I can't remember what it is.
Typhoon?
Oh yeah, yeah. Typhoon, tsunami ended up happening. Yes, I did see that.
I haven't seen any reports on it. I
And
was
Ash. Oh, and just for people who like crowd size, if it's something you want to do, um, look for smaller communities because there are smaller communities that are doing them too. So you don't, because I couldn't go to Raleigh. There's going to be too many people. I would have to do like a smaller one. Or, just if you're able, maybe drop off water and snacks. Or, if you're homebound, you can help participate by, I'm sure on TikTok, there's going to be lots of lives representing it. Go in there, throw a heart me, comment, just engage with the chats. That's a good way to do it for free if you can't get up and actually actively go.
no, Johnny, it's the GOP. The GOP are the majority. They're the ones in charge. They're the ones that can decide what bills get put forth. They're the ones that chose not to negotiate in any way, shape, or form to get the votes that they needed to get. Yup. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. People's conversation skills are very lacking. Like, you can always tell when they didn't listen to one thing that I said. Like, they didn't make an argument against what I said. They just basically were like, nuh-uh. Already voted and passed this bill a few months ago. They didn't. It's not the same bill. Things that were funded back then are no longer funded. It's not the same. Unless PBS is getting funded, it's not the same. Unless USAID is getting funded, it's not the same. No, it's not the same bill. There are things that were being funded that aren't anymore. To say that's not true is to completely ignore everything that is going on in the world. And again, you can be okay with it. I don't care about that. I mean, I don't like it, but I don't care about it. But don't pretend things are happening that aren't.
And try to wear shoes that you can run in if needed. Don't be out there in some little cheap flip flops if you can help it. Keep your extremities covered.
You lose clout by blaming only one side. I blame whoever is to blame. I have no problem blaming the DNC when it's their fault. This one isn't. I've blamed the DNC plenty of times for things.
And see, that's the thing, Bird, is we can blame the GOP, because blaming and are they involved are two different things. Are the Dems involved in this whole shutdown mess? Absolutely. Are they the blame for it? Absolutely not.
The Democrats can't force the majority party to negotiate with them, but they can say, we're not going to give you our vote because you refuse to talk to us about anything and just pass whatever you want. It's called being an adult. It's called the reality of the world. It's not our fault that the GOP are acting like children. It's not our fault that the GOP don't want to do their job. That's not the Democrats' fault. And again, I am not a fan of the Democratic Party right now. in any way, shape, or form. Half of them can go kiss my butt, if we're being honest. They can just sign. It's not a zero bill beach. That's the point. There are things that are not being funded now that were being funded at the last one. It's not a zero bill. Maybe they should have done their job and gotten the 12 budget bills passed in the 1 year that they had to do it instead of kept doing CRs. Because, their job. Never thought I would be on a timeline where my family would have to carry paperwork seriously. And that's not even stopped it. I just watched a video of a man who's like, I had my paperwork on me. They grabbed me, held me for 5 hours. I kept saying I had my paperwork on me, and they just told him to shut up and would not let him show their paperwork. Off topic, Bears managed to win last night. Good for them. I don't even know how the Patriots are doing. Is signed. This is a zero beyond that. No, that is not the argument that the GOP leadership is making. The argument that the GOP leadership has been making is that this is a clean CR from the one they signed in March. They both said it, Johnson and Thune. So don't try and move the goalposts just because you don't like it. Just so you can, don't move the goalpost just so you can try and blame the DNC for what they had no part of. The GOP needed votes. They needed votes. And they didn't talk at all. If they had talked to the DNC and the DNC was just like, nope, we're not going to accept any of this negotiation. You've offered us stuff and we're saying it's not enough. Then I would blame the DNC more, maybe fully. But in this case, the GOP did no negotiation, no talking. It's their fault. You're very happy that hundreds of thousands of people are not getting paid? That seems pretty heartless. Thank you for letting us know what kind of a person you are. For anyone that's over here, just so you know, I'm live here and on the tube at the same time. If you like what we do here, you should go follow over there. You should go hang out over there. You don't have to worry about comments getting filtered. There's a lot of cool people over there. I've been told the image is actually nicer. You should check it out. No, it's not. They literally let go 1,400 people from one department, and now we're trying to get them back because they accidentally let go people that they needed to work. It is not being run more efficiently. The fact that you even think that shows you literally have no idea how our government runs. You think it's efficient to make people work without getting paid? You think that's efficiency? Nope. Sorry, Russell. Not even a little bit. Not this time, at least. And again, literally have no problem blaming the Democrats. None. I'm sorry. Who didn't negotiate with the minority party in which they needed 8 people to vote for it? You expect our senators to just vote for things, even though they don't agree with any of it or a lot of it? Like, is that how you want your politicians to work? Do you not want your politicians to fight for what you as the person who voted for them want? You expect is your expectation that because there's an R or a D, they're supposed to do anything? How does that supposed to work?
And I don't like why would people be okay with them just wanting to fund something for 7 weeks? Like, why are you okay with that? Why are you okay with them actively not doing their jobs?
It's
Like,
not the same CR. It's
actively not doing their jobs.
it's not the same CR. If PBS is no longer being funded, it's not the same CR. If USAID is no longer being funded, it's not the same CR. And no, they're not holding it hostage. They want the majority to do exactly what the majority should be doing, which is negotiate to get their votes. They didn't talk to them at all. I know, friggin' Marjorie Taylor Greene even says that it's a bad bill, or that it's not a clean CR. So don't pretend it's the same. It's not. Friggin' arguing that Marjorie Taylor Greene says something. Friggin' planet are we on?
I don't think we ever I wonder how many of us ever put that on our bingo cards. Agree with MTG.
Nope. Obamacare was passed in 2010. The government shutdown was in 2013. But thanks for playing, Steve. Brooks. We've got multiple Steves in here, so I better use the whole name. I don't want the other Steve coming in and being like, I wasn't talking. Oh, MTG knows that MTG is trying to get voted back into office, but MTG also knows that the ACA, losing the ACA subsidies will hurt her district. Another person that their words probably got filtered and thinks that I'm just ignoring them. Jeez. Grow up, people.
And it's like I definitely think she's doing it for the votes.
Of course she
However, at
is.
the same time, I think the also part that can be true is there's no way that there's not a lot of people that voted for her that are not screaming at her about this.
Absolutely. Look, I will never like or agree with that woman. No matter how much she says things that I agree with. But that does not mean she is not smart. That doesn't mean she knows and doesn't know what will help continue to get her to get voted. And she knows that if the ACA subsidies go away, she will get blamed. The other one, you mean the tube, April? There's either a link in my bio, or you can just look for a More Perfect podcast over there. It'll come up. It'll be the first thing. Or one of the first things.
Yeah, I definitely think she's a politician. I'm one of those people who I really believe more than one thing can be true at the same time. And I think that she definitely wants to be reelected, but mm,
Yeah.
I can't help but think and wonder if at some point, if what her constituents are saying to her behind the scenes that we don't see, of course, we're not going to see it and hear about it if it's not playing into it. But it's just sad that it's gotten so bad that because I mean, obviously anybody that runs anybody that's in the house is always running. I mean, the elections every 2 years, they're pretty much always running, it seems
Not
like.
pretty much. They are always running.
Yeah, it just seems like that just wipes away everybody's I struggle with that.
How user blah 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 blah. How does the ACA subsidies that help make it so people can afford their health insurance put extra money in their pockets? I would love to hear that one. Actually, never mind. I can't hear it. Just go away. It's a dumb statement to make. Y'all.
And that's how I've tried to keep a little bit of sanity is when there is something I'm trying to keep my eye on the good, no matter how small it can be. And even if it's just in a minute minute, does that negate any and everything else she's ever done? Absolutely not. But on this, I can say, oh my God, I agree with her. Even though it feels weird, those words coming out of my mouth.
People make me want a stronger drink. There.
If I can't say that, I'm guilty of being those people that we talk about all the time that are not willing to be open and truthful to facts.
So here's the thing we need to remember, Ash. And I actually talked to someone, I watched a video of someone who talked to people there about this. So for this school year, so for the 2025-2026 school year, SPED is funded because the way it works is schools put in for funding in like January, between January and July, and the people that work in the Department of Education for the special education, in the special education division, look at all of those, like review all of those and decide funding between January and July. And then that funding is given over the summer to the schools. So they all have the funding for this year. That being said, what they are doing is they're going to make it, are you talking about the cuts that they just made? Yeah, so they cut what the cuts that they made were to people working at the department. So the cuts to the people working at the Department of Education in the special education division is bad for the next school year, so the 26-27. If they don't bring them back before end of December, like if they make those cuts and those cuts are for good, then we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Because then there will be either nobody or so few people that most schools will not get new funding for the next school year. It's already been, it's been going down. I'm not saying that they aren't defunding things as well. I'm just saying in terms of, because that's what they were doing before July. Like they were doing those kind of things. They were cutting at the Department of Education before July. That's a different issue. If there's any funding that was allowed to go out to schools, that's already been given out. That's all I'm saying. It's just bad. It's bad all around. Don't get me wrong. This is just bad all around. all hostages released, celebrating. It was reported this morning that 6 more Palestinians lost their life to the military. That doesn't sound like peace to me. That doesn't even sound like the ceasefire that it is.
There's so much about that, like, I feel on so many different ways. Like, am I excited that those people got to go home?
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Absolutely. Am I also excited for the Palestinian people, which I think every single one of them should have been released all at one time, that have been held for absolutely no other reason than who they are? Absolutely. But it's like there's just so many things, like seeing it just made my skin crawl in so many ways. There's just something so bad I feel about it.
Well, because it's not actually fixing the problem. Again,
Yeah.
these are always all this government has the capability of, all this government and their government, not the Palestinians, the other one, have the capability of doing, hey April, have the capability of doing is putting band-aids on things. That's the problem. That is all that this government, that is all our government in general has been able to do, but this government especially, the only thing they have the capability of doing is putting band-aids on things. And as long as that's all they're capable of doing, that is why no one's getting super excited. There's no, like, they're calling it a peace deal. It's not a peace deal. It's a it's a it's a ceasefire. There is no peace. There is no peace going on. It's a ceasefire. Am I happy there's a ceasefire? Of course I'm happy there's a ceasefire. But I'm not going to sit here and celebrate. There is step 1 of a supposed 20-step plan. If you don't think there's about 100 million things that could go wrong in that amount of time, that could destroy everything, then you're being willfully ignorant. I appreciate all you guys that go over to the tube. I really do. It means a lot. And it's definitely helping. I can see the amount of view hours every single day. And when the more people I get over there, the higher I can see, like, I see those days.
You know, I'm so glad I'm so glad that I said that out loud and that multiple people felt the same way as I did, because I was wondering as I sat here and kind of watched it in my heart. Oh my gosh, I was like hugging them through my screen. It was such an amazing, beautiful thing to see. Oh my gosh, I felt so good for all of the people that got to go home on
Sure.
all sides, and and that feeling was just there, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what's wrong with you?" And then to see that it okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it is. It
Again,
is up home days.
I will always be happy when when something happens that allows for the reduction or the ending of the loss of life. I will always be happy about that. But yes, is my happiness in this situation muted because all this is all this is a ceasefire that couldn't even last one day? Didn't even last one day. They signed the stuff yesterday. They signed phase 1 yesterday. Like, officially. And in one day, 6 Palestinians lost their life. That's not okay. I'm
I
not.
saw some. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go.
I saw some other news article. I hadn't actually read them, but like there was several article headlines I saw dropping that were kind of concerning, talking about some stuff that's like happening over there now from like I think one was like a BBC and one was from somewhere else. I can't remember, but I was just like, it's just the feeling. It's just I'm just glad though that you guys made me not feel insane because the feeling is just man. You're so right on that, Mike. You're absolutely right.
By the way, everyone who's over on the tube, if you could hit that thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it.
I'll go ahead and do the commercial now. I'm not even going to try to do it like Scott because Scott does his thing and I think it's fantastic. And I can't help but feel proud every time he does it because we got him from barely being able to, hey, Mama Bear, from being able to chat effectively, then into Discord, and then we got him in the box, and then putting him in the box unleashed a beast, and then we started him on a commercial, and damn if he didn't, he's just like taking off. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
so proud of him. I hate that he's not here to hear the lovin'. Guys, it's almost the end of the show, but we definitely want to make sure we do all the things to show all the places that we're liking what Mike's doing. Make sure you're hitting that heart me up there in that above Mike's head, that orange heart. If you haven't already, it's a penny. Tells TikTok that you're liking what he's saying. Do all the things to claim all the points that are on there. For different people, it's different things. Claim those points. You get those points. He gets those points. Helps you lift up, go up in your gifter level. It also tells TikTok that we really enjoy Mike. Same thing on the tube. Make sure you're in there. If you're over there, make sure you're commenting, please. Making sure you're hitting that thumbs up. All the engagement, all of the stuff. Every time you hit those keys, it's telling both places we like what he's doing. Let's keep those viewer hours up. We had a new episode of the podcast released today, so definitely head on over and check it out. Just to put it out there, it's really easy to listen to while you're driving, especially if you have to commute or anything like that. Just an idea for you. We also have the stack of subs where you have audio or what is it, visual in writing?
Text.
Text format. There you go. Text format of different stories and topics that my brother likes to cover. Just make sure you're doing all those things. All those times, I really appreciate all the comments. The likes have been being amazing. You guys have been doing so good with that. Make all those comments, all those gifts, all that stuff is much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Um, here's the reality. Nothing can get done in Congress if Mike Johnson doesn't bring the House out of recess. So nothing can happen until after this weekend, no matter what, because he's closed. I think it's still shut down. I think it's shut down through the 17th. He's closed the House through the 17th. So nothing could get done after, no matter what. Like, even if the Senate agreed to something, if it was different than the one that was passed by the House, then the House still has to pass it. That's why they need to be there for negotiations. Because the House, since the Republicans have the majority in the House, they have to agree, enough have to agree to the new, whatever the new agreed one is, where Mike Johnson will bring it forth, because Mike Johnson can say, I'm not bringing this bill forward even if the Senate passed it. Like, do you guys understand that? Mike Johnson literally can be like, nah, I don't want to do it. Even if there's enough Republicans that would vote with the Democrats to pass it in the House. This is the part that people seem to not remember.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Accountability. Aren't they always screaming about the immigrants coming over and they breaking the law and they should be held accountable and all this and that? Accountability from the people that actually make the laws that affect how you live your everyday life. Why would you not expect accountability from them?
That seems like too obvious of a thing. Um, so after live today, I'm going to be meeting with a couple of the different people that are going to be helping out to make more content available. So hopefully you'll start seeing more stuff, like I said, starting probably next month. So if you're not following over there on the tube, please do, because there's going to be a lot of new things coming up, and not all of them will be the long form, 45 minutes to an hour podcast season episodes. They will be shorter other things. So there'll be all different kinds of things that will hopefully fill whatever you're looking for, no matter mini pods. They won't technically be mini pods. They will just be other things. They'll, talking about stuff that's going on kind of more as it happens. It is the same title. Yep. Um,
Is is it kind of like that little 20-minute short that you guys did about, was it Jersey?
yep. Yeah, it'll be stuff like that.
Okay.
There will also be different people that will be leading some of the stuff. It won't just be me. It'll be other people. Like I said, the goal is to grow this into something that, um, even if you're not into one part of it, you might be interested in the other part of it. Um, we need progressive. We need more progressive. Hey, Melody. We need more progressive voices to grow. I've been watching things and people are like complaining that people like Hassan is the only like large progressive, and it's like, remember, there are others that are trying. It just involves it involves more people being involved. And I think part of it is people on the left like having conversations, so they like the lives. They're not as big into the podcast as much. Not that they're not into it at all, but we'll see. We're trying things. That's all that matters. That's all I can do right now is try things.
I just find myself when I watch them talking
I do it too.
talking to the screen while I'm watching that
I do it
episode.
too. But that's, you can have conversations in the comment section.
See, I need to get like a microphone though, because like as I'm listening, I come up with all these thoughts. But as my squirrely little brain goes along and I hear more thoughts and it just kind of, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then it's like by the end and it's like time to comment. I'm like, well, shit, what was I gonna say again?
You can comment in the middle of it. People do that all the time. You can
I guess
actually
I could
tell
be.
when people comment in the middle, the ones that don't like what's going on and they haven't heard the rest of it, they'll actually like comment. You can tell when I said something like 15 minutes in and they were like, I don't like that. So they just start commenting on it. And then they'll comment again later about something else. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate you.
You probably hear they're in there running amok in the bathroom. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. I hear the 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 snacks outside barking nonstop too. So timestamps to show how far into the view. That's fair. But
That's a not that's a knocked out kitty's face.
but you can like you can actually write quite a bit on the tube comments. So you can be specific about what you're talking about, but I would feel like you're watching a live with people. That's fair.
So
And
that would be, but wouldn't that be more beneficial too? Like if I have a comment at the in the beginning and I go ahead and send my comment, and then I'm watching, and in the middle I have a comment, and then that's another comment. Those each count as separate comments if I
mhm,
do them as separate. There we go. Thank
yep.
you.
And it opens the door to more conversation. So if you see comments, you can like them and respond to them. Like it doesn't We can use comments as conversation. It's just like what we do in Discord and everywhere else. So, like I said, this is a new world we're moving into. One that may not be as focused on this, even though we like this, or the TikTok side of things. But I can tell you, having worked on the different format side of things, there are some positives to the Tube or the Purple app that aren't that while TikTok allows for some things, it also doesn't. Like you can comment and not have to worry about getting filtered.
I think that's my favorite part. You're able to have a whole grown ass conversation as grown ass people and say, because I mean it's pathetic the topics, some of the topics that we talk about, that we have to say the stupid ass words that we do for it. It's so demeaning on
Mm-hmm.
so many levels.
Yep. All right. It's 12 o'clock, so I need to head out. Kia, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate it always.
Thanks for letting me up.
Of
You guys
course.
have a fantastical day.
Thanks for the likes, the shares, and the gifts, guys. Again, can't do this without you. Really can't. Like, could not do this without your continued support. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile, do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. And go listen to the new podcast that just came out. Just came out. Go watch it.